Fireman baffled when boy walks in and claims he works there. The fire engine roared with fury as it cut away from New York's heavy traffic, smoothly driving into the station. He commended his brigade for a job well done and hopped off the truck to run over the operation's logistics. But as he sat at his desk poring through the paperwork, he heard a gentle knock on the door. He swung around, finding a small boy in uniform staring at him. What he learned about the boy left him in tears. Jim had been a firefighter for the last 30 years. Having served in more than 5 cities across America, he'd found his home with the New York City Fire Department. For Jim, being a firefighter was more than dousing out flames and helping the occasional helpless cat off a tree branch. Jim loved how much joy saving lives brought, and for him, there was nothing greater. Well, that was until he met Little Trucker. Jim had spent the last decade of his firefighting career in New York. He'd seen all the city had to offer, from the dark that came with riots and fire outbreaks to the good that accompanied marches and parades. But his chance meeting with Trucker would blow everything out of the water. In all his life, he would have never thought to encounter a boy with such a compelling story to tell. The day that Jim met this little boy was by no means typical. His department had received a distress signal from downtown New York, to which they'd immediately responded. The operation had been a successful one, and as any captain would be at that time, Jim swelled with pride for his brigade. He went to his desk to record the operation, not knowing how much his life was about to change. The knock was low, but Jim could tell whoever was on the other side of that door was enthusiastic about coming in. "It's open," Jim called out, staring back at the door through his eyelashes. He was expecting one of his firefighters to walk in when a boy no older than 4 years old strode in with a bright smile on his face. And that's when Jim saw it. As a firefighter, Jim had many kids come into the fire station looking to sightsee. One look at the boy before him told him that was not the case here. The boy was dressed in full firefighting regalia, even sporting a small plastic axe that caused a warm smile to bloom across Jim's face. But there was something else that made him stand out. The boy held his head high as he came to Jim's desk, sweetly asking if he could sit. "I want to join the team," he said. Jim's heart swelled within him, but then something happened. A woman came in quickly, apologizing for her son's intrusion. "We've spent the last 18 months in New York and today's our last," she said. What she shared next made Jim's eyes broaden. "Trucker here is the biggest fan of firefighters, and with good cause. His dad is a firefighter back home in Hawaii. He wanted, more than anything, to see this station, and you in particular. You've been his hero throughout our stay in the city." If Jim's heart swelled before, now it burst with pride and honor. "All this humbles me," he said. "What brought you to the city?" he asked, and the woman's smile faded at the question. The woman's bright brown eyes glossed with tears as she told Jim about their journey to New York. It turns out Trucker was severely sick and his parents had heard of a treatment in New York that could help him. Stage 4 neuroblastoma. Jim repeated the name that the lady had shared. It was a kind of cancer that emerged from immature nerve cells all over the body. He wiped away warm tears as the lady shared more. "The doctors say he has 18 months to live if we don't continue with the medication," Trucker's mom said. "But these treatments have taken such a toll on him that we don't know if they're the right way forward anymore." The woman's voice broke as she continued to fill Jack in on their situation. He looked at Trucker, seeing a warrior who had the brightest smile on his face. What he said next made Trucker's mom's tears double. "I have an idea," Jim said, quickly calling in one of his firefighters. "This is Trucker and his mom," he introduced. "I need us to take Trucker's picture and arrange to swear him in as a junior firefighter." Jim asked Trucker's mom if they could stay for another day in New York. "I have never met a braver fighter in my life," he said. Would Trucker's mom be open to inviting her friends and family as well? Jim worked with Trucker's mom to squeeze in the ceremony before the two flew back to Hawaii. Trucker's dad, a firefighter in Maui, came to help with the preparations. 3 days after Jim had met Trucker and his mom, the New York City Fire Department swore in Trucker as their latest and most honored addition. The ceremony was a blast, and although it came to an end, it would create a ripple worldwide. Word of the 3-year-old firefighter spread like wildfire all across the globe through the Team Trucker hashtag. People from all nooks and crannies hailed Trucker for his fighter's spirit. When the world learned of his terrible fate and the painful decision his parents were forced to make, people came in droves to show their support. How they did it was astounding. People worldwide decided Trucker should see all the world's beauty before his last day. Through donations, Trucker visited many places across the globe, inspiring people wherever he went. Although his days were swiftly counting, his smile never faded from his face, and the light in his eyes remained strong. But sadly, he succumbed to his condition, leaving behind something that no one could have ever predicted. With Trucker's passing, his parents set to create more awareness about neuroblastoma. They hope the world can understand there's no greater pain than burying one's child, and that there is also power in healing. For Captain Jim of the New York City Fire Department, Trucker had taught him what bravery, resilience, and courage were all about. He strives to emulate trucker every day of his life.